Welcome to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Have you ever wondered how to become a key person of influence? Well, I've got the man in studio today that can help you become a KPI, as we call it. Topher Morrison, Managing Director of Key Person of Influence, is in studio with me today. So, Topher, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Today.
Glad to be here.
So, Topher, you're an accomplished author, speaker, managing director.
I'm an author. I don't know if I'm an accomplished author. I'm not sure how many you have to sell before they can call you an accomplished one. But yes,
you're definitely a key person of influence, hence the company.
According to my mom, I am definitely a key person of influence.
So, tell us a little bit more about this company, Key Person of Influence.
We're a growth accelerator. What we do is very simply, we help successful service-driven companies boost their profits, work with better clients, and if we do our job right, we help them get their time back, because that's one thing that a lot of entrepreneurs are really strapped with. We do it in a very unique way. It's based upon a simple concept that the most influential people get the lion's share of the business.
It's an interesting way that comes together, yes.
Yeah, well, we've all seen people line up to do business with influencers. Well, we've cracked the code on what makes somebody influential, and in about 6 months' time, we can instill 5 soft skills that the most influential people have, and if our clients do what we tell them to do, they will see results usually within 90 days to 18 months, depending upon how long their sales cycle is typically.
And I've been through your program, and I'll admit I did not complete the book portion, and that's the most critical component of your coursework that you do, and something that is still on my back burner.
It's a widely known part, yes.
I will. Yeah. I promise to get that book done. I've actually got 2 that are half completed right now.
He just promised. Did you hear that? He just promised that he'll get that done.
But so I want to emphasize.
Every viewer is going to hold you accountable to that now.
I want to emphasize.
Put a date on that?
Oh, yes.
Okay, when will that book be done by?
Well, now that I've got the website built, I can get this probably done in the next 3 months. So now that I can
3 months?
3 months. Is that too long?
Well, it's ambitious.
Ambitious?
It's ambitious.
Okay, all right. Well, I thought that was going to be too long, so you're saying it's ambitious. Well, I got 2 that are half done, so I just got to put them back together. I spent a lot of this past few months building a new website. Now I got to focus on the book.
Just look at it. It's very impressive.
Thank you.
Lots of content on there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It's like a Jamie Maloney Wikipedia.
It is. Every contact that's ever been on the program that is in there, and I've unveiled little pieces of it throughout various shows, and I'm about to roll it out to the community here very soon. But it's just a culmination of the 1,200 plus different guests that have been on this program going back 3.5 years.
Yeah, you could binge watch the crap out of that.
You can,
website.
And people do.
Stay there
it always makes you feel good when people watch your show or read your book or whatever it is. It makes you feel
and leave a nice comment versus the trolls that love to just leave crap comments.
But going back to the point around the book, I have had countless people on this program, and I've heard over and over again when they write the book, the difference it makes in their business. What is it about a book that sets people apart?
It's a credibility booster, and the question is, why is it a credibility booster, right? Because anybody could write a book. But the problem is most people don't, and I think that's part of the part that gives it the credibility, because I can't tell you how many times I hear every single day from some entrepreneur or some single parent or something that just goes, yeah, I'm working on a book, I'm writing a book, I got a book in me, I really think I got a great story. And I'll talk to them a year later and they go, yeah, I'm still working on that book, and 2 years I'm still working on that book. It never happens, right? I always say, one of the greatest shames is to say that you're writing a book, but one of the greatest prides is to say, I've written a book. And when you think about, like, for example, in our sector here in the Tampa Bay area, we got about 7,000 attorneys in the Tampa Bay area. How many of them have written a book on their specific specialty?
Probably not a lot.
Not a lot. More like 20 or 30, probably the most. So really put you to the front of the line. But I also think there's something anthropological about it. I think that, since the beginning of recorded time, it's always been about immortalizing things in print, right? From the hieroglyphs on the pyramids, right? That was the first, the I Ching, a 5,000-year-old book. The 10 Commandments, they weren't 10 ideas. They were
carved in stone.
They were carved in stone, right? But it's still text, right? and I think there's something to be said for that. We've been conditioned as humans to really respect and idolize text. Right. So when somebody's written that's a powerful thing.
Now, you are an accomplished speaker on top of an authorship, and you're telling me before the program that you began speaking, but you struggled with getting the higher fees until you wrote a book. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so as a professional speaker, I've been speaking for 30 years. 30 years in professional speaking. It's the only thing I know how to do. I couldn't command more than $3,000 for a keynote speech. Now, keep in mind, by the way, this is a completely different era. This is back in the information age when people valued information and paid handsomely for it. I couldn't get more than $3,000 for a keynote. The month that I published my first book, Stop Chasing Perfection and Settle for Excellence, my speaking fees jumped from $3,000 to $10,000, and I would get it.
Wow.
And there was no difference. It was the exact same keynote. I would say the exact same thing, but because I was a published author, somehow it made the information
And it
more
wasn't
valuable.
about them going out there and verifying how many books you have sold. It's like, here's my book. Okay, you got a book. Did they read it? Maybe or maybe not. But
Doubtful.
the book gave you the credibility to go from $2,000 or $3,000 to $10,000. Incredible win.
And the same thing can happen for entrepreneurs, right? The moment they write a book, they are seen as an expert in that industry. That decommoditizes them. So especially for service-driven companies where they're offering a service that 25 other people can do for the exact same price, relatively the exact same way. The moment that person writes a book, the audience, the customer base will look at that and go, well, that person must know something that the other ones don't. Clearly that's worth more. And they're willing to pay more money for that service that they wouldn't pay otherwise.
And what is considered a sufficient book? How many words? 30,000 or so?
That's changed throughout the times. You know, back in the information age, you'd want a 264-page book, nice and thick. Thud, land on the desk and make a big noise. Nowadays, people are busy. They want to be able to get quick reads. So 140 pages is usually a pretty good book.
Is it sufficient enough just to have it online, or does it actually need to be in print, a hard copy too?
Yeah, it's got to be in print. And I think the reason for that is because if you look at the number of ebooks versus the number of printed books, it's exponentially higher because I think the average ebook is like 40 pages or something like that.
Right.
That doesn't command the same level of credibility. But in print as well, you can't go too thin. Usually what I tell our clients is that if you can't print the title on the spine of the book, it's not a real book. It's a big, thick brochure. You've got to be at least thick enough to where you can print something on the spine of the book.
Now, through your influence in the community, you get invited to a number of events. You're going to be the MC for Epic Chef coming up here very soon. I think it's starting this week, right?
Starts this Monday. It's going to be Epic Chef Showdown, where we bring out, I think it's 8 local chefs with some of the nicest restaurants in the Tampa Bay area. They're going to compete for the title of Epic Chef. We've got celebrity judges coming in to judge the meals. All of the proceeds from ticket sales to sponsorship, all of that is going toward Feeding Tampa Bay, one of the best local charities here. They feed over 40 million meals a year in the Tampa Bay area.
Very cool. So is this like a Top Chef setup, an Iron Chef setup?
Yeah, it's at the Epicurean Theater at the Epicurean Hotel. Beautiful venue, and there's going to be 2 chefs competing head to head. They get a mystery box where they don't even know what's in it, and then they have to, right on the fly, create a beautiful dinner. I think it's 2 courses, if I'm not mistaken, that they have to create. Cool. They do it in 30 minutes.
All this centered around becoming a key person of influence, get you looked up, and get you into these types of events, speaking in front of people, and help developing your persona in the community.
Yeah.
Writing a book being one of those key things that helps you become an influencer. What else helps somebody become an influencer?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not just writing a book. I know a lot of people that have written books, and it doesn't do anything for them. And the reason for that is because a lot of people try writing the book that's inside them. They go, I got a book inside me. I want to get it out. I want to write the book. And so they write the book they want to write. Many times the book that you want to write is not the book that people want to read. There's a difference there. So you've got to there's a strategy for how do you write a book that people want to read versus the book that you want to write. But even then, it's not just about utilizing the book. It's or about writing the book. It's about putting that inside an entire ecosystem of your business that creates this journey for your customers to go from a suspect to a prospect to a customer to a client to a raving fan. And that book has to find its home somewhere in that journey. And if you do it right, it can be a very powerful thing. But if you just write a book for book's sake, you'll probably have a lot of them sitting in your garage.
So where are entrepreneurs going wrong today? There seems to be like an entrepreneurial movement. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to be their own boss. But so many people go out there and fail. What is the overlying reason that so many entrepreneurs fail in business?
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with technology. Technology was designed to make our lives easier, but I look at how much technology distracts me on a day-to-day basis, and it's absolutely crazy. I probably, and I like to think I'm relatively productive, and I probably waste easily an hour a day screwing off on social media because you go on to just make a quick post, then you get distracted, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, you're watching midgets racing camels, and you're like, this is amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of study about focus. When you take your focus off of something on the social media, and then go back to your task.
The recovery time.
The recovery
yeah.
time.
It's like 30 minutes recovery time. It's insane. So I think a lot of them is they just don't understand what's important. They also try running their business in the old information age, not in the collaboration age, and they don't understand. Information age used to be, I know something you don't know, pay me and I'll tell you what I know. And in the collaboration age, that's not how it works. It's, if I know something you don't know, I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to give it to you for free, and if you like it, then maybe you'll pay me.
And I've heard you give the speech on the different ages, in economics, and it's a fascinating topic. And you talk about the collaboration age that we're in today. Yeah. What is the collaboration age? Is it just who you know and who you can get in front of?
It's not even who you know. It's who you are. And that's even more important. Who you know is good in the information age. So the theory is that we as a culture invest our funds into the age that we exist in. So in the agricultural age, we always invested into agriculture. Mm-hmm. When the manufacturing age hit, we stopped investing into ag, we invested into manufacturing and so on. I'm going to go through the information age. Well, about 2010, the information age died, and we no longer value what people know. Why? Because we can go online. I mean, there's nothing you or I know that people can't Google, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what happens is now we're looking for relationship, we're looking for interaction, we're looking for collaboration, more than we're looking for information. I can get that on my own. Here's a great example. Taxi cab industry was an information-based transportation system. The cabbie knew the shortest route from point A to point B, and they could charge for that. But nowadays, nobody wants to take a cab. What do they want to take?
Uber
and Lyft, right? That's a collaboration-based transportation model. We don't expect the driver to know the shortest route. We'll tell them. Right. We'll work it out on our phones together. We'll sit up front. We'll have a conversation versus sitting in the back, although some people still sit in the back. It's a completely different energy and vibe, and that's why Uber and Lyft is doing so good. But cabbies are struggling because they refuse to adopt to this new methodology, which is people want relationship and interaction.
Yeah, it's a great speech that you give. I know you go through the how, the why, the where, the what's of the different economical periods that we've been in. I mean, we could spend an hour on that topic alone. Got to take a break here. Currently talking with Topher Morrison, Managing Director of Key Person of Influence. Learn more at keypersonofinfluenceusa.com. When we come back from the break, he's got a big announcement for what's coming up with him in the city of Tampa, so stay tuned for that. On That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
And welcome back to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. New episodes each weekday morning at 9 a.m. at thatbusinessnetwork.com. And we'd like to hear your story too, tbsinterview.com for more information. My guest today, Topher Morrison, Managing Director of Key Person of Influence, where he helps you become a key person of influence, and learn more at that website, keypersonofinfluenceusa.com. So Topher, a big thing coming up here in the fall for you. You've been selected for Dancing for the Stars.
Well, yeah, I don't know how I feel about it, but I'll be one of the dancers in the Dancing with the Stars Tampa Bay. It is a fundraiser every year put on by the wonderful Julie Weintraub. She has a group called, I think it's Bridge Tampa Bay. I'm not sure the exact name, but there's a website they can go to. But it is exactly like Dancing with the Stars. Some non-professional dancer gets teamed up with a professional dancer. We learn to dance and we compete, and we all do it for charity. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Habitat for Humanity is the chosen charity, or one of the chosen charities this year. And so I will be participating in Dancing with the Stars Bollywood edition, because when you think Bollywood, you think skinny white guy.
Well, there it is, up on the screen. People can learn more. Dancingforcharity.com. This is coming up on October 7th. It'll be held at the T. Pepin Center. Again, dancingforcharity.com. Are you a dancer? Do you know how to dance?
Oh, God, no.
I don't either, so I'd be scared
Here's
myself.
the thing. I'm not a dancer, but I'm highly competitive. So I'm in it to win it, and I'm going for the trophy for sure. I don't care if I have to pay for dance lessons above and beyond what I normally do. I'll be in that damn dance studio every night practicing. I'm going to be so sore, I'll be reeking like Ben Gay every single day if I have to, but I'm coming home with that trophy.
Do you know who you're
committed.
dancing with? Has that all been selected
no,
yet?
the kickoff party, I think, is July 25th, and I think that's where we're going to be introduced.
So you can practice with them ahead of time.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right,
They'll teach you the routine,
All right.
and I'll be sitting there practicing all the time.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm in it to win it.
Now, you got a new book coming out here, the book on public speaking.
Yeah, very creative title. The book on public.
Hey, it gets right to the point. I mean, hey, I know what this book is for.
Yeah,
So,
there's no ambiguity there, right? It's a book. It's on public speaking. So, yep, that'll be published. It'll be released in bookstores nationwide August 8th. You can pre-order it now on Amazon. And I'm very excited for this. My fourth book.
Fourth book, and I know you've written a number of great books. Just another one here coming out, and I want to talk a little bit about public speaking, because I really think that's another differentiator in business. Mm-hmm. What does it take for somebody to step on a stage and call themselves a speaker? What skills do they need to develop? What do they need to have already in their arsenal before they can say, I can be a speaker?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I guess anybody can get up on stage and speak. The question is, can they get up on stage and captivate while they speak? And for me, I distinguish the difference between a public speaker and a professional speaker, even though I've labeled the book public speaking because that's the vernacular that people are familiar with. For me, a public speaker has to pay for the privilege to get up on stage and speak. They got to pay for their gas, their airfare, their own meal. They're losing money when they get up on stage and speak. But a professional speaker is somebody who gets paid for the privilege to speak. And so this book will help anybody become a public speaker, but it's really designed to help you become a professional speaker, because when I get up on stage, I want to make sure that every time I get up on stage, my net worth increases, it doesn't decrease.
Right.
And that's a difference there. How you do that is through entertainment. The more entertaining you are, the more captivating you can be. Unfortunately, most people think that public speaking is about getting up and turning to a PowerPoint slide, reading the notes, and then going to the camera and then speaking again, and then turning this, and then going back. And it's professional speaker, not professional reader. And nothing bugs me more than seeing professionals get up there and just keep reading the bullet points off of their slide presentation. Makes no sense.
Yeah, and I've watched you speak a number of times. You get out amongst the crowd, you're engaged, you know how to use inflection and pitch and voice tone.
I do my best. Yeah, you know, I mean,
but you are an entertaining speaker to watch.
That's my method. That's my measurement of success. Did I entertain them? You know, I think it was Walt Disney who said that. I don't think it was Walt Disney. I'm trying to remember who it was now. But somebody that asked if I could be an entertainer or an educator, which would I do? And I decided to be both. And I can't remember who said that now. Now I'm blanking. But if you think about it, Disney entertains far more than it informs. But yet you're a better person after you watch a Disney movie, right? You learn values about integrity and trust and honesty and loyalty.
Right.
So they pack the information around entertainment, and that's why they're far more successful than people who just try to teach. Look at it this way. Who are the most informative people in the world that are public speakers? Teachers. Mm-hmm. They sit there and teach and inform all day long, and they're paid crap. Who are the most highly successfully paid professional speakers? actors.
Yeah.
They get paid to speak, right? How much do they teach?
Not
Very
a whole lot,
little,
yeah, right.
It's all entertainment.
Yeah.
So the more entertaining you are, the more you'll be successful as a speaker.
You know, and that's something I try to develop in my show all the time, because I'm a natural informer. I'm a fact person versus entertaining. But
Yeah.
you're right, you got to have a mixture of both, and you really should be sided more on the entertaining side, because that's what captivates.
It's
that's what holds
sad.
the audience.
It's depressing. It's so unfortunate that we live in a culture that needs to be entertained so badly. I mean, the reality is teachers should be the highest paid professional speakers in the world, and entertainers like actors should probably be paid the least. I don't know. Totally pissing off actors when I say that. But in terms of contribution to society, teachers are doing far more, and I don't even think actors would disagree with that. The thing's all jacked up. It's messed up. And the system is the system. We have to learn how to work with that system. So what do? We entertain while we inform.
What are some tips you can share with the audience on, just basic public speaking skills? How to eliminate the ums and the ahs, how to engage with their audience, maybe not at the level that you're at,
Sure.
but just for somebody who's got to go out and give a presentation.
Well, one thing I would say is don't worry about the ums and the ahs. I think if you get so self-conscious about the stammers that you have, you're probably going to have more stammers. The reality is people speak with ums and ahs all the time, and if you eliminate them from your speech, you're going to sound so polished and so perfect, it's not going to be relatable. There's a group called Toastmasters, which is a fantastic organization to help people learn how to control their fears and get up in front of a group of people and deliver a presentation, be it a toast or whatever, in a relatively informing and entertaining way. They browbeat the crap out of their members to where they just are scared to ever say and on. You can spot a Toastmasters person a mile away because they get up and they're just so formal, and they're just like, and they have these really weird, like they still have the pauses, they just don't fill them with ums and ahs.
Right.
And it's real awkward. But normal people use ums and ahs. So I'd say don't worry about that. Instead, worry about practicing your content as much as possible so you don't have to rely on notes as much as possible. Have them available, but be able to make eye contact and look out and connect with that viewer if it's through a camera, or connect with the audience members. Because if your head's just down in your notes the whole time, you're really just reading. You might as well have just said, here, read the book.
Right.
Here, read my slides. I'll just click through them slowly. Let me know when you're done. That's not going to be entertaining, right? You've got to connect emotionally with people and realize that a presentation is really nothing more than a conversation. It's just a conversation with an audience. And I think if people do that, they'll be a little bit less stressed.
How do you deal with mind blanking? That's something that I struggle with. I'll be into something, all of a sudden I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about. What are some tips for that, dealing with when that happens?
So rehearsal is, nothing's ever going to replace rehearsal. The more practice you are, the better. You have to know what you're going to talk about before you get up and talk. And I think a lot of times people blank because they think they're going to wing it. Winging it is the worst thing you could ever do in a presentation. You want to know exactly what you're going to say and know exactly when you're done as well. So if you have those things planned out, you'll have less of those blank spots, but always have something to fall back on. Even on my keynote presentations where I'm speaking in front of thousands of people, I have what I call my parachute. And it is a one-sheet piece of paper that has my entire 45-minute keynote on there with key words that kind of tell me exactly where I'm at. And I have it on the podium. It's discreet. Nobody sees it. I never use it unless I blank. And then I just go, grab my water, which is right next to the notes, have a quick sip, see where I'm at, boom, I'm right back on.
So you don't have it all written out or anything, just a keyword like, tax. Okay, then I know what I'm talking about now. That keyword puts you back on track.
Yes, and I do have it all written out before I get up on stage. I write out my presentations word for word. I think there's something that helps to integrate your brain, where if you've typed the entire thing out, even if you never read it, just the fact of getting that whole thing scripted helps out immensely.
Now, you're a professional speaker, have spoken in front of, thousands of tens of thousands of people. Mm-hmm. Do you still get nervous when you go in front of a crowd?
No, I've been doing it for 30 years. The nerves are gone now. It's I get more nervous speaking to one person.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'm an idiot talking one-on-one. I can even have this conversation because I know that there's an audience, although they're virtual.
Yeah.
If you and I were just sitting down for coffee, Jamie, I'd probably be just sitting there staring at the ground. I'm like a socially awkward person. It's really weird. So I'm nervous with just one-on-one intimate conversation. I'm really good with the big group stuff.
See, I struggle with a group. I've always, been behind a microphone and I can't see my audience. And I do well when I can't see my audience. But you put me in front of people I can see, I tense up.
Yeah.
I forget things. I speak completely different. I think when I'm on the radio or the podcast, I speak very fluidly and very professionally. But
that's just unfamiliarity, right?
Right?
Anytime you're in a new environment, it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit scary. In fact, I promise you, if we went back to that very first show that I was on when you launched the that business show with Jamie Maloney, I guarantee you, if you looked at that and then compared that to now, you'd look at your performance and just go, oh, I don't even want to watch those old shows, right? Because you're so much more smooth, much more comfortable, and better on it now than you were back then.
And I've been surprised how many guests have come on my program that are speakers and they're nervous behind the microphone. I was like, you can't see me. Why are you nervous in here? And it perplexes me because I have the exact opposite problem. I can see them, I get nervous, but if I can't see them, then I can talk for a mile.
You know, I'll say this, whether it's on camera or whether it's on audience, I think the big thing that what happens is we switch this little thing inside our brain and we become very self-aware of what we're saying and does it sound correct and is it right. And what I tell people is that the more you can speak from the heart instead of speak from the head, you'll be better off, because you don't care about your performance when you're just having a conversation one-on-one and we're just connecting. It's the same kind of a thing. Why there's no self-evaluation there. So when you turn to the camera or when you look out into an audience, if you're just having a conversation, speaking from the heart, usually that'll diminish that stress or that tension, or that kind of freeze frame. Usually reduces it pretty good.
Got about a minute left. We've talked just about a couple of things that make people a key person of influence. Tell the audience how you can help them become a key person of influence through your course.
Well, we have courses, we have offices in 7 cities worldwide. We're in London, Singapore, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, and right here in Tampa, Florida. We've actually created an online version, so if anybody's out there and you're not in any of those cities and you'd like to go virtual, we've got that as well. They can simply go to keypersonofinfluenceusa.com. That's our website. They can check everything out there. That pretty much is a good launching point to all of our Twitter and our social media and our Facebook and all the other things, and YouTube and free videos. We got tons of free information out there. So if they just go to keypersonofinfluenceusa.com, they'll be good to go.
A lot of information on how to become, again, a key person of influence. So Topher Morrison, Managing Director for the company, thank you so much for being in the program today.
My pleasure, my friend, anytime.
And again, keypersonofinfluenceusa.com. New episodes again, weekday mornings, 9 a.m. on thatbusinessnetwork.com, and find us on iTunes and on YouTube as well. So you've been listening to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.